Hey jij daar, superleuk dat je weer luistert of zelfs misschien wel kijkt naar een nieuwe aflevering van de Win-Win podcast. En vandaag ben ik hier met Frazer Bailey, ik vanuit Vinkeveen en hij vanuit Australië. Ik was namelijk ontzettend onder de indruk van de documentaire die ik op het platform The Spirit heb gekeken. Dat is het platform van Jorn Luca. Van de Truman Show. Zij hebben een snoepwinkel voor de bewuste mens. That's the Spirit. Met allemaal films, documentaires en natuurlijk iedere week de Truman Show. Ook de Truman Show Uncensored. Dat is een speciale deel van de podcast wat alleen toegankelijk is voor mensen die een account hebben op That's the Spirit. En daar zag ik dus de documentaire Root Cause. En dat is de documentaire van Frazer Bailey waarin hij beweert dat een wortelkanaalbehandeling in zijn mond, dat de reden is van heel veel fysieke ellende. En ik dacht echt wow, want ik hoor al 20 jaar lang van de tandarts dat ik ontzettend dom bezig ben en dat ik al lang mijn verre standskiezen had moeten laten trekken, want die groeien niet recht naar beneden, maar die groeien een klein beetje naar voren. En ik heb dat altijd geweigerd, met als resultaat bijna ruzie met de tandarts over hoe onverantwoord ik bezig ben en bla bla bla. En nu zag ik die docu waarin ik eigenlijk die intuïtie die ik helemaal niet goed kon onderbouwen, kreeg bevestigd dat het trekken van tanden of wortelkanaalbehandelingen absoluut niet zonder risico's is, omdat zowel bij het trekken van kiezen en tanden, maar ook bij wortelkanaalbehandelingen er eigenlijk dood materiaal in het lichaam blijft. Iets wat heel veel risico's met zich meebrengt. En nou ja, goed, ik hoop dat Frazer, in de documentaire legt hij dat sowieso heel goed uit. Maar ik hoop ook in deze podcast dat hij dat heel goed gaat uitleggen. Dus ik hoop dat dit een podcast wordt over het schoon en sterk houden van je gebit. Kijk of ik het goed schoon heb. Ik heb nog niet gepoetst vanochtend, maar wel al heel veel paarse smoothies met zeewier en alles erop en eraan gegeten. Eventjes kort over hoe ik mijn tanden poets. 1 keer per dag met een zacht borsteltje en een klein beetje fluoridevrije tandpasta. Dat kan van alles zijn, maar zachtjes poetsen en niet te vaak. Verder ga ik naar de ozontandarts in Sneek. Nou, daar ga ik nooit naartoe. Ik ben 10 jaar niet naar de tandarts geweest. Toen brak het voorstukje van mijn tand af. Toen moest ik wel even naar de tandarts. Ja, of ik moest voor lul lopen. Dus toen moest ik een soort van kiezen tussen 2 kwaden. Ben ik toch naar de tandarts gegaan. Toen heeft hij zonder informed consent even snel foto's gemaakt van mijn tanden. Ik zeg, je bent niet zwanger toch, zei hij. Klik, klik. Ik zeg, van waar die vraagt. Nou, ik heb even foto's gemaakt. Nou, toen dacht ik echt, ik snap weer waarom ik 10 jaar niet bij jullie ben geweest. Want ik zeg, heb je wel eens gehoord van informed consent? En waarom ga je er klakkeloos vanuit dat ik niet zwanger ben? Ik bedoel, ik zit in die leeftijdsgroep. Ik ben niet zwanger. Die plannen heb ik ook niet meer. Maar ja, ik vond het weer zo raar. Maar goed, toen begon hij weer over die verre standskies, dat hij toch echt ziet dat hij naar voren groeit. En toen dacht ik, ja, zijn enige optie was trekken. Trekken, boren en een hele rattenplan, je kent het wel. Nou, dat wilde ik niet. Per toeval ben ik toen in aanraking gekomen met de ozontandarts in Sneek. En hij behandelt je gebit met ozon, maakt het heel mooi schoon en ja, geeft eigenlijk de natuurlijke groeikracht van je tanden opnieuw een impuls. Ja, god jeetje, ik weet niet zo goed hoe ik het moet zeggen, maar hopelijk zeg ik het zo goed genoeg. En daar heb ik 2 keer mijn hele gebit laten behandelen met ozon. En hij zegt eigenlijk dat ik nu helemaal met hoe ik eet en hoe gezond ik ben, dat ik voor de rest van mijn leven klaar ben. Nou ja, ik kan me voorstellen dat sommige mensen nu denken van, dit klinkt te goed om waar te zijn. Nou, dat is het misschien ook. Ik weet het niet. Maar zijn visie, niet op alles, maar op zijn kijk naar tanden, sprak mij wel enorm aan. Want hij zegt, bij de reguliere tandarts is het eigenlijk Ja, een aflopende zaak. Iedere interventie lokt weer nieuwe interventies uit. Nou, dat herken ik natuurlijk. In de geboorte-industrie gaat het precies zo. We proberen de hele tijd voor God te spelen en slimmer te zijn dan de natuur. En hij ondersteunt eigenlijk het zelfherstellende vermogen van je gebit. En dat spreekt mij enorm aan. En nou, dus we gaan kijken. Dus dit gaat een aflevering worden over je mondgezondheid. Er zijn toch wel heel veel mensen die beweren dat alle gezondheid in je mond begint. Dus ja, heel veel kijkplezier. Vind je dit gaaf? Ga dan naar jannekevandermeulen.nl. Zoek naar dat kleine knopje doneren. Heb je mijn boek De Eiwitleugen nog niet gelezen? Ga ook naar jannekevandermeulen.nl en dan zoek je naar de boeken en dan naar De Eiwitleugen. Heb je die al 10 keer gelezen? Bestel dan alvast voor een vriendenprijs het nieuwste boek, Geen zin, wel doen, van Eerlijke Schoonheid. En dat wordt echt een knaller. Ik ben echt trots op wat voor uniek boek wij nu aan het neerzetten zijn. Het is een biografie met een schat aan informatie en vervolgens een handreiking van hoe jij ook van overleven, leven naar het niveautje geven kunt. Dat je zoveel geluk, gezondheid en energie hebt dat het over de randen klotst. Dat je kunt geven vanuit overvloed. Met als resultaat gezondheid op alle fronten. Ja, ik ben er super trots op. Het ligt bij de opmaak. Die is ermee begonnen. En het gaat er nu echt aankomen. Dus dat is heel erg gaaf. Wilde ik nog iets zeggen? Nee. Oh ja, dit wordt mijn eerste podcast in het Engels. Nou, ik ben niet zo snel zenuwachtig, maar dit vind ik spannend. Engels was het mijn enige onvoldoende vroeger op school. Ik heb daarna nog allemaal studies volledig in het Engels gedaan. Dus lezen, geen probleem. Kijken, luisteren, geen probleem. Maar nu moet ik zelf Engels praten. Dat vind ik wel spannend. Maar goed, de comfortzone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows from there. Dus hup Janneke, gewoon doen dit. En ik zal af en toe even naar woorden moeten zoeken. Ik zal af en toe even stotteren, maar er zijn ergere dingen. Dus ik ga er gewoon voor. Dus heel veel kijkplezier. Good morning, Frazer from the Netherlands. You are...
Good afternoon from Australia.
Yeah. Happy that we are here together. I already did a little introduction because I was really shocked, but also inspired by your documentary Root Cause. I have watched it by the platform That's the Spirit from Jorn Luca. He is streaming your documentary. And because I guess that my dentist is already for 20 years pushing me to extract my
wisdom?
Yeah,
wisdom teeth?
Yeah. And I don't know, but I always say, no, I don't want it. And I didn't know why I don't want it, but I don't want it. And there is no, no discussion.
Yes.
So I had many dentists, and the first thing they always say is, come on, extract your wisdom teeth because they are a little bit growing forwards. That was also the reason I didn't went to a dentist for 10 years. But I'm really happy that they are still all in my mouth. And then I saw your documentary and I was, oh my God, maybe this was the reason. A little intuition, I don't know, protect me for maybe, I don't know, for what. So should we start at the beginning, please? Introduce yourself a little bit. But then people know a little bit why we are talking together. And
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so my name is Frazer Bailey. I live in a city called Brisbane, Australia. And so pretty much since I was 17, I was in the film industry. And I worked in the film industry and then started directing TV commercials when I was about 27. And when I turned 30, I got chronic fatigue, really just bedridden chronic fatigue, and I didn't know what was wrong. And I searched for years for answers, all sorts of different things. After about 3 years, I kind of did enough different things to start being able to work again, but I was still always tired. And um, how I stumbled across the whole root canal thing, because, I was trying everything, you name it, I tried it, and you see that in the documentary. Essentially, in the documentary, an actor is playing me, but it's the whole story is exactly like the movie, except for I still can't surf. I just did that for storytelling. And I never did the firewalk. I just did that for a bit of comedy. I was meant to do the firewalk at an Anthony Robbins seminar in Fiji, but it didn't happen. But anyhow, everything on the film is exactly how it happened. But how I stumbled across it was, well, just only because of storytelling reasons. It was through that Lecker antenna. So that Lecker antenna, a lot of people think that's, very weird and, not scientific. And it's beyond me how it works. But essentially, they take a drop of your blood, and then using this instrument, they do a diagnosis. My understanding of it is, what we don't, in Western medicine, we don't look at the body as energetic and holographic, but the body is holographic. And we know, if we see the iridologist, they can tell us from our eyes what's going on with our body. Or the acupuncturist feels the pulse and they know what's going on with every organ. Or the reflexologist feels your feet and knows that your liver's bad, because the body is holographic. Anyhow, I was in San Francisco, and my girlfriend at the time was doing this course to learn how to be a practitioner with the Lecker antenna. And I just said,
Stop a little moment, because I have seen the documentary, so I was also, whoa, this is an interesting tool. But can you explain a little bit more what it is? Because it's how do you call it? Electric antenna?
it's called a Lecker, Lecher antenna. It's from a French doctor who came up with it, and the modality is called ACMOS, ACMOS. I've forgotten the French doctor who invented it, but ACMOS is the name of the modality. So, if you Google ACMOS practitioner, I'm sure there's lots in Europe. Not many in Australia, but because of the French background, there's quite a few in Europe. So yeah, it's beyond me. It's way beyond my capability to explain how it works. But this is what happened.
Yeah.
So I just gave them my blood, and then I went off to be a tourist for the day, and then I came back, and I said, "Oh, did they manage to look at my blood?" And she said, "Yeah." So his name was Dr. Schultz, and he's got an amazing clinic in New York called Innovative Medicine. And Dr. Schultz said that my main problem was I had an infected root canal. And I was just like, firstly, I was blown away because I hadn't even told him I had a root canal, and how did he know it was infected? And he didn't look at my teeth. He barely spoke to me. So it was all pretty wild. And that began my deep search into the root canal. And I was very lucky. And it's this front tooth. So this front tooth is fake. And then these two teeth are like, it's a bridge there. So because it was my front tooth, call it vanity, but I didn't want to get it pulled out. Like, it was like, I don't want to have my front tooth removed. And so I was kind of resistant to it. Anyway, so I was searching the internet trying to find stuff, and there was a podcast channel called oneradionetwork.com. And this was back when, this is what, 2015 or something, where podcast wasn't very popular. And he had these dentists and doctors on his channel talking about how bad root canals were. So that was my first thing, is going, oh, well, this cardio, and a lot of these are in the film, like Dr. Levy and Dawn Ewing, and some of them were no longer alive, but these doctors were doctors and dentists who were speaking out, and by speaking out, they were losing their license and having to pay huge money of legal fees to fight the medical boards. So I was going, okay, so this is real. But I was still resistant because it was like, oh man, I do not want to do this. And I had a remote session back in the Skype days with Dr. Jerry Tennant, who's in the film, and you fill out this big form, and one of the questions is, do you have a root canal? And so I did this Skype session with him and going through everything, and he goes, oh, yeah, I see you've got a root canal. I said, yeah. And he said, no matter what I do, I cannot ever get you better until you get that root canal fixed. And that was when I was like, okay, I've got to get it out. That was like, okay, I'll get this thing out. And so, essentially that's what happened. So I got it out, and then that was, that was the start of the journey. And I'd actually already made a documentary called Emotion, which may also screen on that same platform. I'm not sure. It's called E-Motion. And that was all about how emotions affect your health. And I'd made that with my business partner, Justin Lyons, at the time. And then I told him about the root canal, and he was like, wow, man, this is amazing. It's like it's kind of like the next kind of smoking thing, like before smoking was considered bad, or asbestos before it was known it was bad. It's like, no one knows about this, and, we should go out and make the film. And that's essentially what happened. I just researched through YouTube and podcasts all the doctors, and set off to America, and went around America and filmed all the doctors and dentists who were speaking out about it, and then came home, and then it took me.
Frazer, the connection is stopped. Wait a moment.
I was like, oh yeah, and I had resistance because I don't.
My connection was lost for a few seconds. So
Sure.
the last thing I heard was that you went to America, spoke to all the doctors, then came back, and at home you had a little insight, but then the connection was lost.
Yeah, so I came back, and it took me about 6 months of how do I tell this story, because and then a friend said it's got to be your story, and I thought, no, that's boring. And he said, no, it's kind of funny, because all the crazy stuff you try and go and do, and I don't like, I'm shy, I'm an introvert, I don't like being in front of the camera, and then I had the idea of having an actor play me. So so that's kind of how the film came about. So any questions from there?
Yes, because you spoke to the doctor, and he told you, I can't make you better, except first you have to clean or fix your root canal. Because I'm quite
Yes.
sure there are a lot of people listening right now, and I think, oh my gosh, I have also 1, 2, 3, 4 root canals treatments in the past. So how did you fix your root canal treatment?
Well, essentially, you have to pull the tooth out is the problem. So you have to pull the tooth out, and that's why I was so resistant. Being my front tooth, I didn't want to get it pulled out, and so you have to pull it out. And then in the film, we talks about the options are, you either have a bridge, which I had. So implants, a lot of people get implants, but the problem is titanium implants, which probably 95, maybe 99% of the world's implants are titanium. They're just as bad as a root canal. The other option is a zirconia implant, which is a natural material, from your biological holistic dentist. That's your other option. The best option is a bridge, or for some people, like if it's a back tooth, they can just do nothing. Just take it out and do nothing. So essentially, it's twofold. So with the root canal, because what they're doing is removing the nerve supply to the tooth, so it was a cosmetic procedure to save the tooth, and that's what happened to me. I got punched, and then I got a root canal, and so I think it was in the 1920s the dentist worked out they could save the tooth by doing a root canal. And so naturally, lots of people wanted to keep their beautiful smile and get a root canal. And because they're cutting off the nerve supply, is that you've basically got something dead in your body. Now we know if our appendix bursts and we keep it there, we'll get very sick and die. Or if we get a gangrene thumb and we just leave it there and don't chop it off, we'll get very sick and die. But erroneously, dentists think that you can have a dead tooth in your mouth and it doesn't cause any problems. And the analogy I like to use, which is in the film, is the smoking analogy. We know people, maybe our grandparents or whatever, who smoked till they were 90 and they were great. And then there was other people we knew who smoked for 10 years, got lung cancer and died. So the root canal is just another stress on the body. But if you're super healthy, you eat well, you exercise all the time, your emotions are good, you're thinking happy thoughts, you're doing everything good and you've got a root canal, maybe it won't affect you, or maybe it won't affect you for a long time. And for me, it took...
Your immune system...
Sorry?
Your immune system is strong enough to tackle it, to clean it, and you will be a little bit tired, but you sleep 1 minute longer and it balances.
Exactly. And I know super healthy people. There's a lady who I know who's like 70, and she's, she does yoga and eats super healthy, does everything right, got boundless energy, and she's got a couple of root canals and she's doing fine. But so what happened with me and what happens with everyone is I got punched at 17, and it wasn't really till 11 years later I'm starting to go to the doctor and going, "Hey doctor, I'm feeling tired, I don't know why." And then, and then when I hit 30 is when the chronic fatigue, because it was just, if you think about its toxicity, it's layer upon layer upon layer upon, then all of a sudden the body says no more. And it's just another toxicity layer. And I'm not saying my chronic fatigue was 100% from the root canal, because maybe I could have eaten better. Maybe I could have had better emotions. Maybe I could have done more. So there's all these things, but it's a stressor that anyone who's not feeling healthy and is listening to this definitely needs to get looked at.
Yeah. And I had a lot of questions.
Sure.
A few cases, because I spoke to a lady 1 week ago, and she had so crazy much pain in some of her tooth, and for days. And she said it was the worst pain she ever had. She said, I will do a lot of, I will give birth to 10 children. I don't care, but never again so much pain in my mouth. So she was so happy with the root canal treatment. What would you say to someone like this lady, or what alternatives could she have done? Did she have?
Well, I would say if she obviously, you want to be out of pain. So Yep, root canal is the great treatment for that. There's no doubt about it.
Or you
And if
are
she's
you are cutting
nerve,
the
the
nerve
nerve,
off, so you can feel it. Yeah.
yes. Um, and so for her, yeah. So if you know, if she's healthy and then she wants to get the root canal, great. But if she's suffering from health problems, whatever they may be, I would say you need to get the tooth removed. But if she's in pain, yeah, for sure, get the root canal, and maybe like with me, 10, 11 years later, all of a sudden health problems, have a look at the root canal. So what I was meant to say earlier is, so we know about, so that's having the dead thing in your mouth. That's like, we know from Western medicine perspective, that makes sense. You can't have something dead in there. But then one step further is we are energetic bodies. You know, we know from Chinese medicine, 3,000 years old, we're energetic beings, and those energy lines are meridians, the 12 meridians, and so each tooth is on a meridian, and so you can Google tooth meridian chart and find out which your tooth is. Whether was it the lung, was it the liver, was it the kidney, whatever will affect that particular organ. And so, um, yeah, so totally. First thing, yeah, I totally that the lady definitely get out of pain. And if she never has health problems, fantastic, but if she does get them down the line, then I'd say go to a holistic dentist. Um, so there's machines. There's a few machines. The first machine was called an EAV machine, and then after that was called a Vega machine. This is all German technology. Then there's the Bicom, um, and what these machines do because people go, like me, they go, I don't want to get my tooth removed. So when you go to a practitioner, they can go onto each tooth. This is what happened to me, and it's in the documentary, is that the machine is working with electricity. And when the needle is in the middle, that's perfect balance. When it's underactive energy. When it's overactive energy. So you'll go to all your different teeth and it'll be fine, 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 fine. Then it'll hit the root canal and then go, because energetically the machine's telling you there's a problem, and that's as scientific as you can get.
But I told to another woman, and she will visit my podcast in a few weeks. But she said, no,
Mm-hmm.
the pain is very necessary because the pain is telling the body that there is some work to do. And she was sitting with
Mm-hmm.
the pain for almost a week. And after that, she had an appointment with the dentist. But then the pain
Mm-hmm.
was already going down, and the dentist said, I can't see anything. Your body already fixed it. So
Mm-hmm.
there is also and this lady was saying, no, don't remove the pain. Give the pain some space. Sit with it for maybe for 1 week. It's terrible, but she didn't had. She was ready for a root canal treatment, but then yeah, it was not necessary anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And also with holistic dentists, that with ozone, a lot of them can just inject ozone and fix it without needing to do a thing.
Yeah.
So that's another good option, is if you've got a dentist that does ozone, then try that first.
Yeah, yeah. My mom, she had a root canal treatment a few years ago, but it was not completed. So sometimes
Hmm.
there was a lot of push, and
Yeah,
it's still there. And she had an ozone treatment, and now it's completely clean.
brilliant.
Yeah. Okay, back to my questions. Oh yeah, another question. It pops up right now, so I will ask it first because otherwise maybe I forget it. It's very popular to wear braces, and the
Hmm.
dentists give you the advice, please remove your back teeth. Um,
Hmm.
please remove them. Then we put a brace in your mouth, and it will look brilliant. It's crazy. There are a
Yes.
lot of people. It's really popular and trending in the Netherlands, maybe in Australia
Yes.
also. And I am, oh my gosh, because they are pulling teeth like it's nothing. They don't
Yes.
they don't mind.
Yes.
It's a piece of cake. Um, and they are wearing all day, every day, plastic braces.
Hmm.
And I don't have the right words, but my intuition says, no, no, come on, please. It's too aggressive. It's too harmful. I don't know. I'm against it, but I don't know why.
Yeah.
What's your opinion?
Well, it's very funny you say this because I've only learnt this in the last year. And I was one of those people who had the teeth pulled out. So, firstly, there's nothing wrong with braces, but the teeth pulling out like the pulling out teeth unnecessarily is the problem. There's a book called 6 Foot Tiger, 3 Foot Cage by Dr. Felix Liao, and I have been chatting to Dr. Felix Liao, and what the book means is the tongue. The tongue is the 6 foot tiger, and the mouth is the 3 foot cage. So what it is that people have and I'm one of these people. You have a very crap from having teeth removed when just before you have braces is your whole jaw structure, and it's a total with modern orthodontics, it's a total mistake in that they go, oh, the mouth is crowded, you just got to pull, 4 teeth out.
Yeah.
And the reality is, instead of doing that, then they should be expanding the jaw for the teeth to fit beautifully. And there's all different reasons from sucking your thumb um, to emotional reasons of why it gets crowded in the first place, genetics, there's lots of reasons. But the old science, the old and the orthodont, I mean, dentists already hate me, but orthodontists are also going to hate me, is the old science was remove the teeth, braces, beautiful smile. And no doubt you do have a beautiful smile. But the new science is expand the jaw for all the teeth to fit, and then there's zero problems with your health because you have breathing problems, and there's so many symptoms from anxiety to sleeplessness from having this problem. Um, and yeah, I've only just learnt about it. And if I'd have known about it, I would have put it in the film, but I only just learnt about it this year. So it's amazing your intuition already knew that that was a problem.
Yeah. And what's the difference, but also the overeenkomst, how do I say, the comparison between
Mhm.
a root canal treatment and pulling your your teeth, your back teeth out,
Oh, wisdom teeth? You're talking about wisdom teeth?
for example.
Okay, so with wisdom teeth, yeah. So wisdom teeth. So some people have problems, and some people there's no problems. Like I've had mine out, and I had one of them I had a problem with, and it's called a cavitation. And the cavitation is when they pull the tooth out and they don't do a good job in removing the periodontal ligament. And so a lot of dentists don't do a good job of when they remove the tooth, they don't get the full periodontal ligament out. So your biological dentist will know this, but a lot of dentists don't. And so out of my four teeth, only one was bad. And what happens is it forms a cavitation, which is like a root canal in the way that it's an infection site, and it's infection site and then causes lots of different symptoms. So having the wisdom teeth out isn't a problem if you have a good biological dentist who does it right. So
Of the ligament.
yeah, so yeah, as long as they get the periodontal ligament, I think that yeah, there's a thing called a dental burr that they got. Yeah, obviously I'm not a dentist, I'm not a doctor, but this is just what the dentists and doctors have told me.
Yeah, yeah, clear. And you already mentioned it a few minutes ago. You said a little bit, yeah, the dentist will hate me. What happened after you published this documentary?
Well, when it was on Netflix, it was on Netflix. It was meant to be on for 2 years, but worldwide for 2 years. After 3 months, the American Dental Association was sending letters to Netflix, and yeah, Netflix, got banned from Netflix. Netflix removed the film after 3 months because it was getting because yeah, essentially the American Dental Association was saying that I was causing people harm, and which is like the inversion of the truth. Um,
Yeah,
and they were very threatened by it, and I got a lot of attack just on social media. Like a lot of dentists attacked me, and journalists were, you know, and I just didn't want to. I was kind of busy with my career. I didn't want to fight. I didn't want to fight the fight and be the root canal poster boy. I just I made the film. I made the film out of passion, out of trying to help people, and because it was my story, that's why I was so passionate about telling the story. I haven't made any money. Like people think, oh, you just like I haven't made a cent from the film, and people wonder like people contact me and go, what was your motivation for, all these lies, all these, dentists think that I've just made up these lies. It's like, these are all the doctors. It's not these are all the doctors and dentists and who are now speaking out about it. And now like some of the best doctors and dentists, with massive followings are saying now what I was saying back in 2019 on Netflix.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And you fixed your root canal. Uh,
hmm
the tiredness, was it gone? Did you feel better?
It took maybe 2, 3 months to get better. But what happened before? I was doing all these different things, and I just kept going back. Kept sliding back, and it was just like, what is going on? But then once I had the root canal done, and then I was doing all the good healthy things, then my energy began to build. So it's not like you wake up next day and hey, I'm got full of energy. You've got to be healthy. You can't go out and eating donuts and being a slob. You got to work on your health and detox, and so go and live a healthy lifestyle because you've done some damage. There's some damage has been done, so you've got to rebuild. So, but yeah, that once I did that, then I rebuilt, and now I feel great, and um, you know, like yeah, as you know, with the health equation, there's not one thing. It's not just a root canal. It's everything. I've just written a book, and hopefully it'll come out at the end of this year. And in the book, I talk about it's called the deepest protocol. And deepest stands for dental, so getting everything right with your dental. The E stands for emotions, so getting all your emotions, so all the traumas we all have, trapped emotions and traumas we all have had from childhood and teenage years and so on, and sorting them out. Forgiving forgiving people who have hurt us, you know, breakups and all that. And so emotions, essential nutrients. So there's 90 essential nutrients with the, you know, 60 minerals, vitamins, fats, getting them in your diet, having a healthy diet. The P is for parasites. So getting rid of parasites that we all have from food. Then the E is for EMFs. So, you know, the Wi-Fi, the mobile phone towers, minimizing that, getting, you know, going, earthing our feet in the ground to get rid of the radiation. The S in deepest stands for scars. Just like I was explaining before with the meridian system, when you have a scar, depending on where that scar is, it can, if it's deep enough and big enough, it can block the meridian. So some people literally are really sick, and then once they get that scar treated with there's like those machines. So those machines I was talking about before, like Bicom, the German machine fixes it, and it's going to come to me. And neural therapy is the main one. So neural therapy is basically they inject the site and basically makes it so the meridians flow through again. So neural therapy, Bicom, there's others, but they're two. So
Yeah,
if you
there
have
are a lot of
a scar, and even tattoos,
even.
and tattoos, even tattoos
Yeah,
can cause
tattoos. Oh
the
my gosh.
same effect if they're.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it's more and more common, or no, more and more people wake up that that tattoos, they are blocking your energy flows completely, and then we haven't even spoken about the toxic inkt, the toxic
Ink. Mm.
yes, and
Ink.
yeah, and a lot of people
Yes.
are wearing here piercings. They are also blocking your
Mm.
energy flow.
Yes.
A lot of piercings on the most. The piercing
Yes.
here, I can't understand because everything comes together on this place, and they are blocking it completely with piercings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing you say that because a girl I knew, and this is how a girl I knew had a scar from a bad piercing, and she was like bedridden. And once she fixed that, everything came back. So there's scar, and then the last T is toxins and heavy metals, getting rid of toxins and heavy metals. So that's my philosophy on health. If you're sick, is that you have to look at all these things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I'm happy
Mm.
that I'm all mentioned in my book.
Yeah, yeah.
And what's your perspective on removing toxics from your body?
Oh, and how do you detox heavy metals and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, yeah, obviously, you know, from infrared saunas to, you know, there's foods like chlorella and cilantro. But I guess what's the main. Then there's also like supplements you can take that kind of have heavy metal binders like zeolite, and there's different supplements. Some of them escape me the names, um, and yes, so that's right. There's two therapies. One's called EBU. EBU is so EBOO, and it's basically you have a needle in one arm, a needle in the other, and it goes through a machine. Your blood goes through a machine, and it takes out it uses ozone, and it uses a UV light, and it has a filter. So it's a three filter system, and you see your blood go out like, and then when you see it coming back in, like the colors. I haven't had this done because it's not in Australia, but I've just seen the videos. The color of your blood goes from dark to bright red, and then that actually on the machine, you can see the buildup of your toxins in the machine. So there's EBOO therapy, and there's also plasma exchange therapy, which is very similar, but not using ozone.
Yeah. But okay, interesting. Okay, a little bit back to my last questions about the root canals. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, that was all. That was my first question. Sorry, it now is. But what's your core message of um, regarding to your mouth and your teeth
Yeah, I
after
think
the
the
documentary?
core message is, yeah, like everything is connected in the body, and your teeth, unfortunately, you can't have it to your body and it not cause you health problems. And so if you are someone who has suffers from a health problem, whether it's chronic fatigue like I had, or MS, or breast cancer, or doesn't matter what it is, if you've got some kind of illness and you know you've got a root canal or two, have that looked at, and yeah, unfortunately, you have to get it removed to get the stop the infection, and also to get that meridian to flow again. Um, and yeah, I mean, I was just very lucky. That whole what I said with the lecker antenna was so crazy luck. It was just luck that I stumbled across it. Otherwise, I'd be still sick today.
Yeah, yeah. And do you, what's your opinion? Why are pushing dentists you all? They are kind of in my experience they are trying to push me to remove the teeth, to do root canals.
Mm.
They are pushing me. Do you have an opinion why is it like this? Because you
Well,
are.
I think that firstly, I think dentists, they're good people. They're hardworking, very intelligent, good people, and also they've spent 10 years studying, and a lot to go through at university, expensive, and then they believe 100% that the root, because the science that they're told is that the root canal
Sorry, the connection.
and effective, and people like me are.
Wait, the connection isn't stable. Is it your connection or mine? Okay, we can't.
I'm good.
Okay, but they are doing studies for almost 10 years. They are brainwashed 10 years by one
Yes,
one route.
yes, yeah, and it's as we know, science evolves. Like years ago, they thought formaldehyde, and they thought smoking was fine, and like science changes, and the science that they were given, yeah, the science that they were given was that, and so, and obviously, yeah, root canal can cost between like 1,000, in my money, like 1,000 to $3,000, and so they think, well, this is what you need, and they make money, and so that's why the American Dental Association, if there's 25 million root canals a year in America, and that it's two to $3,000. That's the money that my documentary was upsetting, and you can't blame them for it, for wanting it to get off Netflix.
But I was wondering if you are so confident about your treatment, why is the elephant getting scared of the mouse? Because you are a nobody.
Mm, mm.
They are.
Exactly. Well, I think it's actually a compliment that the documentary was effective, and so I think it was a compliment. And yeah, look, I don't. I don't blame Netflix, like, because it's like, who do you believe, this guy from Australia, or do you believe the American Dental Association? So I understand from Netflix's point of view, and hopefully, the genie's out of the bottle now, and everyone's talking about it, and hopefully that things will change.
Yeah, yeah. And are there people who contacted you after the documentary for, oh, I'm so grateful that you published this. Now I'm starting healing my root canals. I'm feeling better. What your I am receiving all day, every day meals. What was your,
Yeah.
what happened to you?
Well, when it was on Netflix, I was getting, yeah, every day a message. When it went on Netflix, it then went to kind of one every couple of weeks kind of thing, and then down to like one a month, and then it started to go on other things like YouTube and different platforms. And then people started, and never like Netflix. When it was Netflix, it was all the time because it's such a big audience.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a beautiful thing when people email you or message you and say, hey, you saved my life and my mum's life, da da da. She's had the root canal, she's feeling better. Like, there's no better feeling than that, is helping people, helping strangers you don't know. And I've never had someone go, I had your treatment, I did the root canal, and you were wrong or anything like that. Maybe there's plenty of people who still were sick, and the root canal was just one of the things, and they had to sort out other stuff. But I've had countless of people message me saying thank you for saving my life, essentially.
Yeah, and I can also imagine that because I already hear that a little bit, that if you go into the rabbit hole, you will learn new things. You will awaken. What were you already told me? Yeah, it was 1 year ago that I learned about the braces. What were more things
Hmm.
that you picked up and that you, oh my gosh, wasn't why wasn't told me this before? Of why don't we learn this on school? Things like this. Did you have more wake up moments?
Not not really. That was the biggest one, and like I said, that only happened like a year ago. Um, so I mean, like, if I was to remake the film today, I wouldn't change a thing. I would just add that section in. Um, I suppose if I was to remake it, I'd I'd probably take out the bit about breast cancer, because whenever you talk about cancer, people lose their minds about. So I probably would have softened it with that and taken out the cancer. But that was, that doctor said that was a study of 300 women. It wasn't. I didn't make it up. It was just in there and it was captivating, so I put it in there. But yeah, with the benefit of hindsight, I would have taken that out. But in terms of more, I think I think that would be the only thing I would put in there that I didn't know back then. And the actual wisdom teeth cavitation, I learnt that as I was filming him. When I was filming him, he's telling the story about his patients with wisdom teeth, and I'm like, this is me. And then I was like, oh my, and I had my tooth fixed, and then so then I went down, and that's when I put that in the film, and then I came back home and sorted my wisdom tooth cavitation. But that was just lucky. Dr. Tennant mentioned it in the film, in the filming.
Yeah. And I was also wondering because it took me a long time to find a dentist who could help me on a more lovely way instead of a
Mm.
harming, aggressive way. It
Mhm.
and I'm in the health scene. Yeah, people always
Mm.
joking, Janneke knows everyone. And even for me, it took a long time to find, in my case, the ozone dentist in the Netherlands.
Mhm. Mm.
Then I was Fraser. I have a new thing. I found an ozone dentist, and you were telling me They are banned in Australia. It's not allowed to be an
Yeah,
dentist. Why? Because it's cheap. It's activating your self, the self healing capacities of
mm,
your body. Why is
yes.
it? Why is it not in Australia?
Well, I'm not. I mean, I'm not 100% sure why. Um, the there is some dentists that do ozone, but ozone therapy um, is it's not allowed like it is in America and Europe. I actually have a friend who's making a documentary on ozone, who's currently filming as we speak,
Okay.
and he actually filmed one of the ladies in Root Cause a couple of days ago, um, and yeah, I mean, hopefully things will change in Australia, but yeah, sometimes the medical system's a bit backwards here. But I don't know. I haven't looked into it hard enough to know the whole reason behind it.
But in okay, I understand that you maybe can't say it, but for me it was quite clear because after two treatments for less than
Mm,
1 hour, the dentist told me, "I think I don't have to see you again for your whole life."
perfect.
And I
Perfect.
was, wow. He says, "You are so healthy. Your teeth are so healthy. I give you the full treatment. You're clean a little bit in the evening, not too rough. Don't do uh, things like
Flossing.
flushing." I already didn't because it felt too aggressive again, so I didn't. So
Mhm.
I brush a little bit, and then was because if you start doing extractions, if you start boren, how do you say it in
Yeah,
English?
yeah. Drilling.
Drilling, if you start drilling,
Yeah.
if you start pulling, then
Mm.
interventions are always asking for more interventions. If you start interrupting in nature, you it
Yes.
will it's the same in the business of being born. If you start doing more
Mm.
intervention, you will always end up with more interventions because you are interrupting the flow, nature.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
see it's exactly the same in your mouth. If you start doing flushing, you will have your uh,
Gums.
your tandvlees.
Gums.
Yeah,
The red gums.
is it gums? Yeah,
Yeah.
it will start irritating. Then
Mm.
your teeth will start getting unhealthy, and then you will end up with more problems. So
Yes.
I think it's maybe because they will don't make money again. They don't make money on me.
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
think it's because of the money that they are start doing harm on a very
Mm.
early age, and then they okay.
Mm.
Okay, I'm looking to my questions. Oh yeah, is there a habit that you start introducing so to keep to stay healthy after the documentary? Are there things you change? Are there habits you start doing or you stop doing?
Um, I mean, like you, I'm passionate about health and always learning. Um, and yeah, just like I said, all the things that I mentioned before. But like I do, I do a sauna once a week. I exercise every day, whether it's gym or cardio. I eat healthy, um, and yeah, so I just try and I suppose I just make everything a habit in terms of my health. Obviously now and then, maybe once a month have a drink with friends and maybe, eat something bad, eat some pizza or whatever. But most of the time I'm very healthy. Water, obviously, the water, you got to have the purest water. I use distilled water because the tap water is no good. So yeah, water's a big one. Um, so I think I've tried just to make everything a habit with health, and I still see different health practitioners, and yeah, so I think that's important. So, whatever works for you, whether it's acupuncture or massage or chiropractors or but I've found the people who work for me, and um, there's there's a thing called out of chiropractors is a thing called TBM, which stands for total body modification, and it's not just normal chiropractics where they just crack you into place. It's more from an energetic point of view, and it's a very I think the website's tbmseminars.com to find a practitioner near you. Um, and I found going to see a TBM practitioner very powerful. Like they also with your blood sugar is really important, and blood sugar it's either liver, pancreas, or adrenal. So three different things control blood sugar. And a lot of us have our blood sugars are out, and that causes us tired. And they have a way of correcting your blood sugars, which is like literally you'll go in there tired, and then you'll drive home and go, I feel great. It's like I feel really good. It's an amazing little procedure, and it's so easy. Um, Look, I quit coffee about a year and a half ago. I love coffee. I love coffee. I had it, before the gym. I love my coffee before the gym. But I just realized for me, it wasn't serving me. It was making me anxious. And you get a high and then a low. And, so I've just found since I quit coffee, I'm just more stable and happier. But look, I'm not gonna say to people don't drink coffee because,
I will do,
you
so
know,
don't worry.
yeah, you can do that for me. But yeah, but,
In my new book, I have a lot of chapters about why it's very smart to stop drinking coffee. I always
great.
compare it. It's paying with the credit card, and you are taking up energy you don't have, and you have to pay it back. And
Yes.
but there is also a bigger story about coffee because it's crazy how much land we are using and water we are using for coffee, and it's giving us
All right.
nothing than a kick.
Yes.
So I understand if you really like it and you are addicted to it in many, many ways, not only physical, but also emotional, because it's maybe your only moment that you are sitting quiet, that you are resting, that you are chilling, that you are talking to other people. I can imagine that it's
Mm.
really difficult to stop with that because um,
Yes.
coffee is 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 related to so many moments and so many different emotions. Uh,
Yes.
but yeah, I don't. I have drink maybe 5 cups of coffee in my life.
Oh wow.
Feeling
Yeah.
directly, this is not good for you. This is
No, and that's in my book. I said, look, if you've tried everything and you cannot get healthy, you've got to quit the coffee. Um, but yeah, like I didn't want to hear it, and I think someone who I followed just said, it's fake energy, like it's fake energy, and I went, you know what, it is, it's like it's a fake energy, and then so I just went, okay, I'm done, and the first month was absolutely horrible, but I'm glad I did it.
and for me, simple things like this. Why is it so horrible to quit. Because, for example, if I eat for 1 month no bananas, I will have a hard time, but I will don't have a headache. I will not becoming uh, angry or hangry or things like this. And,
Yes.
and another thing for me, why don't we, if it's so healthy coffee, why we don't give it to our babies and our little children?
Yeah.
No, it's
Yeah.
it's for me, I always say it's to let people do jobs they hate, but get them
Yes.
through the day. So it's a
Yes.
money-making machine indirectly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. This lady who's my book agent. She's very knows a lot about health, like everything that I know. And I've forgotten the name, but there's these doctors in America who treat cancer patients, and they charge it's $100,000 to $100,000 US to just to see these doctors,
Brian
and
Clement?
they will not start. I've forgotten the name. I've
Brian
forgotten the
Clement?
name, but they will not take you on as a patient. I'm not sure, but they will not take you on as a patient until you've quit coffee.
I understand. I understand because
Mm.
it's imbalancing of deregulating. I don't know how to say it. Your whole system. Your yeah
Mm.
yeah yeah.
Mm.
Okay, okay, interesting. Are there things you want to say?
Um, I think that's yeah. I think that's. I mean, obviously, yeah. Obviously, if people if people haven't seen the film, then obviously I'd love them to check out the film either on your stream or wherever they can find it. The website's rootcausemovie.com. But it's yeah, I just the more people that wake up to this, the better, and then soon the little change will happen. And um, yeah, to the dentists out there who are listening, like you know, please don't attack me. And well, I'm basically I'm just telling my story, and I'm not the one who made up the science. And I had no agenda except to help people. Because, like I said in the start, I've been filmmaking all my life. It's all I know, and it just felt like this story needed to be told.
Yeah, yeah, crystal clear. Thanks a
Mm.
lot, Fraser. I
No,
will
thank you.
I will help people in the Netherlands how they can watch the movie.
Beautiful.
Yeah, rootcastmovie.com.
Mhm.
How we can can we support you?
Oh, I mean, yeah. If they watch the film, if they watch the film from that website, that's supporting me. And then yeah, just if it resonates as the truth, then just spread the word to their friends. And I'd love for the people who have had bad health and they get the root canal fixed and then feel better, then please reach out to me and tell me what a difference, because that's for me the most rewarding thing
Yeah,
of all.
yeah, 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 yeah. I completely agree. So thank you, Fraser. I will
My pleasure.
de podcast. Ook jij heel erg bedankt voor het kijken, voor het luisteren. Vind je dit gaaf? Deel het volop op je social media. Je kunt dus naar het platform That's the Spirit van Jorn Luca. Daar kun je deze documentaire met Nederlandse ondertiteling kijken. That's the Spirit is de eerste 2 weken helemaal gratis. Dus je kunt 2 weken dan lekker heel veel films en documentaires lekker gratis kijken. Allemaal gericht op spiritualiteit en wakker worden. Geopolitiek, alles staat erop. Ik vind het echt superleuk om daar af en toe een filmpje of een documentaire te kijken. Je kunt dus ook naar jannekevandermeulen.nl gaan. Daar vind je het kleine knopje doneren. Dat is ook de plek waar je het boek De Eiwitleugen kunt kopen en het boek Eerlijke Schoonheid al kunt pre-orderen. Heb je vragen, opmerkingen, stuur mij een mail. En dan heel graag tot de volgende keer. Doei! Zou je eigenlijk wel meer plantaardig willen eten, maar heb je geen idee hoe je dat op een gezonde, verantwoorde manier voor jezelf en je gezin doet? Lees dan het boek De Eiwitleugen. Mijn naam is Janneke van der Meulen en in 2018 en 2022 werd ik wereldkampioen kustroeien. In 2021 werd ik na een energieke zwangerschap en soepele bevalling moeder van onze dochter. Alles op een dieet van fruit en planten. Kijk, je kunt nog zoveel diploma's hebben, geluk, talent, connecties, geld. Maar energie is uiteindelijk wat het verschil maakt voor resultaat. In het boek De Eiwitleugen deel ik daarom alleen maar de allerbeste wetenschap voor optimale gezondheid, fysiek en mentaal. Dus bestel het boek nu via jannekevandermeulen.nl.